Major funding for NJTV News is provided in part by RWJ Barnabas Health. Let's be healthy together. NJM Insurance Group, serving the insurance needs of New Jersey residents and businesses for more than 100 years. And Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield of New Jersey, an independent licensee of the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Association.
Tonight on NJTV News, the Supreme Court nominees in the senators' crosshairs.
The fallout from the Kavanaugh hearing, Senator Cory Booker returns to New Jersey and defends his release of confidential emails.
In the 3rd Congressional District, the race between Congressman Tom MacArthur and Democrat Andy Kim turns to the issue of resume puffing.
Plus, a long piece of metal impales a train car. NJ Transit gets a lucky break on a bad night. And high honors for a museum that honors the late, great catcher with a knack for catchphrases. Those stories and more next on NJTV News.
Live from the Agnes Barris NJTV studio at 2 Gateway Center in Newark, this is NJTV News with Mary Alice Williams.
Hello, thank you for joining us. Senator Cory Booker's in full campaign mode against the nomination of Judge Brett Kavanaugh to the Supreme Court after having grabbed headlines last week for releasing what he called confidential emails related to Kavanaugh's record. Brianna Vannozzi reports.
Senator Booker, back on home turf, continued defending his release of committee confidential documents.
We have a right to know. The public has a right to know. And this process should not continue until we have transparency, until we can review his record, until we can scrutinize his record. And no senator should vote on this candidate without seeing his record.
In his first New Jersey appearance since the Kavanaugh hearings, Booker said Republicans are stonewalling the process, standing with Senator Bob Menendez, Representative Frank Pallone, and clergy at a New Brunswick church, this time decrying Judge Brett Kavanaugh's civil and voting rights record.
You only have to look at Brett Kavanaugh's record on the D.C. Court of Appeals to see that he is the most anti-civil rights, anti-woman, anti-worker, and anti-immigrant nominee in recent history.
I want to know what he was writing and saying at the time of Katrina, when he was in the Bush White House. I want to know when they were trying to put a constitutional amendment banning same-sex marriage. I want to know what he said about gay and lesbian, bisexual, and transgender Americans. So much of his record is being obscured right now as they rush him forward before this comes out.
The senators argued only 10% of Kavanaugh's writings have been released. The National Archives have yet to clear his record, they said, and referred to emails Kavanaugh sent while serving under the Bush administration, alluding to racial profiling after 9/11. Booker is facing a possible ethics probe, even expulsion from the Senate for releasing them. Some political observers, though, accused him of grandstanding for his rumored presidential run.
Right now, here we stand on Monday morning, and I have now released hundreds of pages of committee confidential documents against their rules, because they're sham rules, and I believe the public has a right to know.
The problem is they're hiding. They're hiding what Justice Kavanaugh is all about. That's why they don't want to release the records. That's why he doesn't want to answer the questions. And it's just a terrible thing, because where will this court go if this process is not allowed to take its normal course?
This is a lifetime appointment to the highest court on the land. What is wrong with the transparency of seeing where this man stands on the critical issues the court will face?
Booker insists his actions have nothing to do with White House aspirations, even as he's confirmed to headline a major Iowa gala that typically serves as a precursor for a run. And unless key moderate Republican senators can be swayed to change their vote, Brett Kavanaugh's confirmation seems all but certain. In the newsroom, Brianna Vannozzi, NJTV News.
Old cars and new jobs top tonight's business news. Rhonda Schaffler is off today, but Joanna Gagos is here with details. Joanna?
Mary Alice, one company is reviving the life of cars and residents in Camden. EMR Eastern is a global recycling company that recently invested $250 million into a car recycling operation. The business purchases, auctions cars, and recycles nearly all the parts. It's processing 3,000 vehicles a month now, and it's expected to reach 8,000 a month very soon. But for Camden residents, it's creating a carload of jobs. The company has already hired 150 positions, and it aims to reach 340. Hiring signs are posted around the city to promote the jobs, whose wages range from $22 to $32 an hour and come with benefits and a pension. The debate over New Jersey's energy master plan has the state weighing the merits of nuclear and natural gas. These low-cost, high-use energy sources made up 90% of the state's energy in 2017, with clean energy at only 5%, according to the Energy Information Administration. But with Governor Murphy's goal of reaching 100% clean energy by 2050, the Board of Public Utilities must balance funding cheap energy with investing in clean, renewable energy like wind and solar. A legal dispute motivated by politics. Both sides accuse the other in a suit brought by Kushner Companies against Jersey City. The real estate developer claims Jersey City blocked the building of a two-tower project in Journal Square because Kushner Companies was once run by President Trump's senior advisor, Jared Kushner. Jersey City responded with a motion to dismiss the suit, calling it a disguised political diatribe over what was merely a contractual dispute. The two sides will hammer it out in court next month. A proposed assembly bill would change the way patients can settle their medical debts. Under the bill, patients would have 90 days to make payment before being sent to collection, and they must have the option to make monthly payments that are under 15% of their discretionary income. And healthcare providers would have to coordinate additional options with the payer if they fell behind. The bill is sponsored by Assemblywoman Joanne Downey and Assemblyman Eric Cataling. Stocks closed mixed, with the Dow down almost 60 points. And those are our top business stories.
Support for the Business Report is provided by SJ Magazine, the heart and soul of South Jersey. Online at sjmagazine.net.
A new Monmouth poll of 8 congressional districts Republicans have routinely won by double digits shows Democratic and Republican voters evenly split, with Democrats holding a slight edge. New Jersey's most vulnerable Republican is Congressman Tom MacArthur, who's consistently voted with President Trump and is now facing a strong challenge from President Obama's national security advisor, Andy Kim. Chief political correspondent Michael Aaron reports on the race for District 3.
The 3rd Congressional District has more registered Democrats than Republicans, but it tends to vote Republican in House races. That may be why Democrat Andy Kim likes to point out that he has worked as a national security official in both the Bush and Obama administrations. His opponent, Republican incumbent Tom MacArthur, accuses Kim of padding his resume.
I respect people that serve the government in all kinds of capacities. I don't respect somebody who lies about who they are because they want to deceive voters. I'm straight about who I am, what I believe, and what I'm going to do. I always have been. And I don't respect somebody who doesn't think he's enough and has to invent stuff about himself in order to try to win over voters.
MacArthur points to a Washington Post fact check published this weekend that called Kim's connection to national security in the Bush administration, quote, a classic case of resume puffing.
Look at what the Washington Post said about him. They said he is puffing up his resume. Look, he's a fraud. He also cheated on his taxes.
Kim was a Rhodes Scholar. In the Obama years, he worked in the State Department, the Pentagon, for Generals Petraeus and Allen in Afghanistan, and was the Iraq specialist on the White House National Security Council. It's the service during the Bush years that is in question.
I'm proud of my service, working for the government under both Republican and Democratic administrations. And I've had a lot of strong support from my former colleagues and other national security officials recently talking about my experience in national security and what I helped contribute to in our government.
Kim put Obama and Bush into one of his TV ads.
The purpose of the ad was to convey what service means to me. It was trying to say that I'm somebody that is willing to work under both Republican and Democratic administrations and that I want to put the country first, and I want to serve the American people. That's what the ad was trying to convey.
Kim worked at the U.S. Agency for International Development on Africa issues for 5 months in an entry-level job during the Bush years.
He wants to look like he's bipartisan, and so he wants to have people believe that he was a high-level person in the Bush administration when he was 22 years old and in college.
Kim says that still put him in touch with terrorism issues in Somalia, Sudan, and Darfur.
There's an incredible amount of work that USAID does in support of national security. And these are the types of works that we need to recognize, that so much of our foreign policy is about defense, diplomacy, and development. And all of these pieces need to fit together.
The race is tight. A recent public poll had Kim up by 45 to 44. MacArthur has caught up to Kim and surpassed him in fundraising. MacArthur also has a large personal fortune he can dip into if needed. In Burlington, I'm Michael Aaron, NJTV News.
Fright night on NJ Transit. Just before midnight Friday, the roof of a train was punctured by a 3-foot-long piece of bracket protruding into the passenger car of a train carrying some 700 passengers from Newark to New York Penn. Minutes later, another NJ Transit train carrying 500 people in the opposite direction struck a metal object hanging in overhead wiring. Both trains lost electricity. No one was injured. NJ Transit blames the accident on Amtrak overhead wires that had dislodged, causing the metal bracket above the train to break. The state's top prosecutor is creating an anti-corruption team inside his office, targeting government wrongdoing, from crooked politicians to abusive police officers to wrongful convictions. Attorney General Gurbir Grewal has chosen a longtime federal prosecutor with a record of high-profile public corruption convictions. The unit will absorb the caseload of the State Division of Criminal Justice's Corruption and Government Crime Bureau. The Attorney General says the new configuration puts the office outside the normal reporting chain to, quote, ensure the independence of sensitive investigations. For years, business leaders and policymakers have warned the state's high cost of living has millennials fleeing to more affordable states. A new report drills down on the out-migration data, and its conclusion may surprise you. Leah Mishkin reports.
2/3 of those who leave New Jersey are millennials.
In New Jersey, millennials are the age group most likely to move out of state. That's not the first time we've heard that headline. But a new report commissioned by New Jersey Policy Perspective, done by students at the Blaustein School at Rutgers University, argues you have to ask the question, are they leaving at higher rates than past generations? And what they found was no. They say rates have been steady since the 80s.
You don't need to be worried about a mass exodus of millennials from New Jersey, as some policymakers are afraid of or arguing. That's just not happening.
According to the Census Bureau, in 2016, 6.1% of millennials moved out of state. But the report says these were offset by 5.1% who moved in from another state.
And we also found that New Jersey millennials aren't leaving the state at any more frequency than millennials in New York, Connecticut, Pennsylvania, those around us.
What about the reasoning behind why millennials are leaving New Jersey? The report interviewed millennials and found they listed the same problems as other age groups. Things like high cost of living, property taxes, and transportation. The difference...
It's just that they're less able to afford it. They have fewer resources, and that's because of where they are in the life cycle.
New Jersey does have a high percentage of millennials living at home, 44.5% in 2016.
And millennials are facing that problem more than the other states we looked at.
The report found another problem facing the millennial generation is student debt. More than 60% of students from New Jersey who graduated college in 2017 carry student debt. The average around $31,000 among that group, according to Lend.edu.
A lot of things are spoke about millennials that are just assumed without any sort of factual basis. And what I would take away from this report is that now we have some information to kind of base some of these policy decisions on.
The NJ Business and Industry Association, who say millennials leaving the state is a problem that's getting worse for the future of the state's economy, told us in a statement they are still reviewing this report, but adds in part, quote, We should make no mistake that New Jersey is bleeding the next generation of its workforce with the outmigration of high school students to institutions outside of the state.
Even though millennials aren't fleeing any more than previous generations have, they are facing some different problems that previous generations did not in the same way. We believe this is a reason for the state to invest more in issues that millennials are facing, like making sure that higher education is affordable and making sure that homes are affordable.
In Trenton, Leah Mishkin, NJTV News.
There she is, Miss America 2.0. That tops tonight's Garden State Express. Our first stop, Atlantic City, where a week and a half of prelims and pageantry spotlighting the casino capital culminated in the crowning of a classically trained opera singer as Miss America. Miss New York, Nia Imani Franklin, moved to the Empire State just last year to accept a Lincoln Center fellowship. The 25-year-old is the first Miss America since the pageant was rebranded in the wake of a scandal that rocked the organization and led to new leadership, which has also suffered its share of controversy. They dropped the swimsuit competition and swapped the evening wear portion for a red carpet social impact statement, highlighting the scholarship competition aspect over the beauty pageant part. Next to Secaucus, where beauty was in the eye of the beholder. The East Coast's largest tattoo convention drew hundreds of renowned tattoo artists to the Meadowlands Expo Center over the weekend, who demonstrated their prowess and illustrated the finer points of body-born artistry, leaving hundreds of onlookers and tat fans an indelible impression. Finally, Little Falls and another honor for Jersey royalty. The museum commemorating legendary Yankees catcher Yogi Berra has gotten its own recognition. The Yogi Berra Museum and Learning Center underwent a 9-month, $3.5 million renovation in 2009. Icon 5 Architects added a 1,000-square-foot exhibition area encased in glass where Yogi used to enjoy sitting, becoming part of the exhibit. The Montclair native died in 2015. The museum, promoting his values of sportsmanship, respect, and social justice, has been named by Architectural Digest the best designed museum in New Jersey, putting it right up there with Frank Lloyd Wright's Guggenheim Museum in New York. And that's a Garden State Express for Monday, September 10th. Something up in your neighborhood? Tip us off. Tonight, we begin a special series on the path out of homelessness in Camden. PBS cameras over 6 months chronicled the struggle of 4 men getting off the streets, fighting against monumental difficulties as they were chasing the dream.
I've been homeless over 10 years. It's very dangerous out in the street. You never know who's behind you. You never know who's want to hurt you for the little possession that you have.
Camden City is where the majority of the homeless population is. It's really sad to see the people in this state. You got pimps, you got addicts, prostitutes. These streets of Camden, they'll eat you alive. I work for the Interfaith Homeless Outreach Council, IHOC. We assist men that are homeless get off the streets and put them on the right road to being successful individuals.
I don't really trust anyone.
Okay.
You know, so it's hard for me to express myself.
Okay. We have churches from a variety of faiths, and they've committed to providing shelter and food and support for 10 men.
And what were you going to do?
It comes together to form the 28 weeks of the program. We have one synagogue that's involved. Mike was very determined to really make an effort.
I was tired of getting high. I decided I'm ready to change my life. Well, I felt like I hit my bottom when I started doing robberies. I did 15 years in prison. I've stolen money, I've stolen cars to get high. and just to continue to live their life of destruction. I overdosed twice within the last 3 months. I have a son that's 10 years old. He's a very good kid in school, and he's just the joy of my life. Last time I saw my son was 2 years ago. He needs me out there.
For Big Bill, once he had a stable place to stay, then he started paying attention to his physical and spiritual health.
I lost my house. I had nowhere to go as far as anywhere to sleep. Probably the hardest thing in the world, trying to find a safe place to lay your head, just trying to survive. That's the part that scares you. You have a chance at life one more time again. And believe me, being homeless and this opportunity here, you want it. It's exciting.
Yes, hi, this is Sonia Jacobs. I'm calling because
We really have been building Mr. Ship since we got him, just trying to put it all together.
Something Sony's working on is trying to find my family. Tell them I'm all right. They either think I'm locked up or dead. Right there. I was 10, 11 years old when I started drinking. My father, he hears that sometimes, mostly my mother. When he gets drunk, he's very bound. We come home from school, she's up in the room crying. We know what happened. I went to jail for 25 years. Thing went downhill for me.
Mike Webb, he was very quiet. He was a little apprehensive about giving me certain information.
Sonia, she saw something in me I don't see in myself. But she has belief in me, so I have to believe as well.
You all about it, man.
The day my grandmother died. That's probably when I lost faith in humanity, in God. Drug I was using was heroin. I had to be saved 4 times in the past year. It's an everyday fight with the demons.
Cravings, they're going to come. And you can't pray them away because it's a part of your brain. If you put 10 individuals in a recovery program, typically only one of them's going to make it.
The first 10 weeks is really intensive because they're trying to adjust to not using drugs. We ask that they not contact family members. We take their phones and they have to attend AA and or NA 5 days a week.
It separated the men from the boys, that's for sure.
In the beginning, y'all thought that 10 weeks was gonna be a long time, and 10 weeks is gone. Right now, there are 10 of us sitting around, but in war, as we all know, there are casualties. I'm just warning everybody to be on guard. Don't put yourselves in places, don't connect with people that are gonna take you down the wrong path. How did you feel when you got out there? Were you
Free?
Free? Okay. He said he felt free, you know? Yeah.
I felt it was a little challenging because you're on your own. Walking past the old places I used to know, people, places, and things. And you don't forget that you used to be there at one point in time.
They'll be back here for 2 weeks and we'll go to the next place. This is their first paycheck. The goal is for them to save as much as they can to go towards their security deposit in their first month. Right?
It feels great.
I don't know if it feels great since you got to give it to me.
But I earned it honestly, and that's the most fulfilling part.
I'm so happy I get to hand my check over just so I can maintain that responsibility. I almost got to relearn to be an adult.
I don't know when the last time I had $50 without spending it. That's a very big accomplishment on my part.
We'll have part 2 of Getting Off the Streets tomorrow. Also, noteworthy facts that help you know Jersey. Nuclear energy and natural gas made up 90% of New Jersey's energy last year. According to a recent report, more than 44% of millennials live at home. New Jersey used to have 13 congressional districts. It now has 12. And Yankee great Yogi Berra, after serving in the Navy, played for the Newark Bears. If there's someone who you'd like to get to know Jersey, share. Use hashtag #KnowJersey. Tomorrow on NJTV News, on the anniversary of September 11th, are we safer? To share any story you've seen tonight, go to njtvnews.org. I'm Mary Alice Williams. For all the men and women of NJTV News, thanks for being here. Shana Tova.
The members of the New Jersey Education Association, making public schools great for every child. And PSE&G, we make things work for communities.
NJM Insurance Company has been serving New Jersey policyholders for more than 100 years. But just who are NJM's policyholders? They're the men and women who keep the Garden State growing, business leaders, the caretakers of our historic landmarks, and the custodians of our public safety. The people who make our state a great place to call home. NJM, we've got New Jersey covered.
I'm fighting cancer.
I'm fighting cancer.
I am fighting cancer.
I fight every day.
Every night.
Every hour.
Every minute. And every second.
RWJ Barnabas Health, together with the Rutgers Cancer Institute of New Jersey, brings the latest research, treatments, and clinical trials close to home.
We're fighting cancer.
And I'm not fighting alone.
RWJ Barnabas Health. Let's beat cancer together.